The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Well, we are back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza with 4 Murfreesboro locations. They're on Memorial Boulevard, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford Boulevard, and Old Fort Parkway. Get hot and ready pizza from Little Caesars. And speaking of Warrior Drive, that's where we're headed now. And Riverdale coach Will Kriesky joining us here in studio this morning. His team a winner at Smyrna, 24-14, in a big rival matchup last night at Robert Rakes Stadium and SRM Field. Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. It was a great night for football. I thought there was a good crowd last night. I thought the both teams had brought a big fan base. It was a nice night for the Bobby Bow. I think it. I really appreciate Smyrna recognize that. I was standing off by myself and I heard them give a little tribute to him, and that means a lot to me. People know how much Bobby Wells means to me and meant to me, and how much he did for me.
You know, the fact that he had such an impact at Smyrna before he even came into the Murfreesboro area. Of course, he had an impact at Blackman as their head coach, and then with you guys at Riverdale. And so, you know, it's easy to honor somebody like that deserves the honor.
Yeah, I agree. He was all about the kids and treating kids the right way, and not ever holding any grudges or holding any penalties against kids. No matter what decisions they made or whatever they did, he never wanted to penalize a kid and hurt a kid, and that's why you have to respect a man like that, especially being in education. Being in education, you're supposed to be about kids and supposed to be about helping kids, and sometimes, you know, people want to teach them a lesson, but sometimes those lessons, you know, they're kids, and they need to be you know, they need to be mentored in the right way, and that's what Coach Wells always did.
And let's face it, when you and I were in school, me much longer ago than you, but those lessons are totally different that we're having to learn, our young people are having to learn now. I mean, these kids have to grow up so fast.
Yeah, they do. It's a different world now, and you know, everybody's adapted to it and rolling, but you know, that's part of it. But anyways, it was a tough game last night. You know, kids fought hard. Kids played 4-quarter game. We escaped one. Smyrna's a really good football team, and Smyrna's probably going to end up winning that district again over there. I was highly impressed with their quarterback play. Their quarterback for Smyrna played really well. He's a first-year starter for them, and I think he moved over to them from somewhere, and he threw some really good balls. He threw two touchdown passes on us. I think one was like a 35-40 yarder, and he made really good connection, and I was impressed. And I thought the running backs got us early on. They reversed field and got outside on us a few times, and I thought they defense made tackles. And the thing that we did is we didn't give up too many big plays. We made them try to drive. Khalil Armand did a great job setting up field position for us. I mean, we're very fortunate to have him another year. And, you know, when he kicks off, they went in the end zone. And I think Miles Weaver did an excellent job punting. Josh Pelchat has been with me since we've been working together, I think, since 2012. And Coach Pelchat does our special teams. And I think he was just the first game and not ever doing special teams live has you a nervous wreck. And Coach Pelchat was a little nervous, and I think I can't brag on him enough of how our special teams played last night.
Well, at least he has, you know, a kicker punter like Khalil.
Yeah,
you know,
he's got some good ones, and you know, it got it down. We did miss a field goal, but it wasn't on Khalil. I mean, obviously you saw it. It went almost to the track. I think it was a 35-yarder. We attempted it, but it was more of the execution that we messed up on, the snap and the hold. And those are two new guys, and we're going to get it fixed and corrected. And Khalil's going to keep working with them. I mean, I can't brag on. I mean, Khalil's a worker. Mm-hmm. I've never had a kicker that works as hard as he does.
Well, and we were talking last night and even some this morning about, you know, the NFL's kind of gotten this new kickoff rule going, and, you know, it's kind of crazy and people are trying to understand it. And then, you know, the conversation has been, do you bring that into the high school game? But I think there aren't as many that can kick into the end zone on kickoffs on the high school level right now. but you've got one.
Yeah, he does a good job, and when you have something like that, it's special. It's a weapon, and for many years we haven't had that weapon, and now that we do, we're glad to have it. And luckily, he's got a younger brother that'll be a ninth grader next year.
Okay, keeping it in the family,
Yeah.
and well, gosh, he's been kicking since a freshman himself.
Yes,
so
he has.
Will Kriesky here this morning. We're talking Riverdale football. Offensively, last night. Let's talk about a few of the stars. DJ Taylor.
I was gonna say Dominic Taylor. You know, you can't say enough about that young man. He runs with his shoulder pads. He'll run low, run between the tackles. You know, unfortunately, again, it's you having replaced the 9-11. He ran, I think it was almost a 95-yard touchdown that got called back,
Yep.
and it put us in a hole, and we couldn't get out of it. At that point, but he ran the ball really well. He had about 120, 130 yards rushing last night. And had that touchdown at the end. You know, we laughed because I told the coaches, I said, he should have went down. He come by me and he said, yeah, I know you're gonna tell me I should have went down. I said, yeah, but it's hard for me to tell a 17-year-old kid not to score a touchdown.
Yeah. Why would you even be thinking? I mean, it's not even instinctual to do that, you know, at that point. 13 carries, well over 130 some odd yards last night. And not only that, I think it was like 96, 97 yard touchdown that was called back, but had one almost 60 yards last night too.
Yes, he did. He ran the ball real well. And, you know, Caden Bailey, we talked about him last week. He's a good game change up, and he come in and ran the ball well. He didn't have many yards last night. But again, he's a good change up for us and a good compliment to DJ, and I was proud the way he played. But I can't say enough about how our offensive line played. I was really worried about them. Smyrna is really good up front defensively. They are very talented up front defensively, and I thought our guys held their own. And that I don't want to say it surprised me, but with all the youth, I thought there'd be a little bit more mistakes. But they played well, and they played really well as a unit. And I think that's what helped us get the victory last night, is how well they played up front. I'm really proud of those guys.
And even with that youth, you got more consistency with that younger group than maybe more with the kids of the same age would get. And what I mean by that, 7 out of 10 times everything worked out. And when there was one time that maybe there was a busted assignment or whatever, it didn't happen on the next one. So you could almost see like they were learning right there on the field.
They were, and they do a good job. Coach Saramelli has done a great job getting them prepared. I was more disappointed, I think, with our skill kids and our receivers. We dropped some balls that we don't drop in practice. Some of our receivers jumped off sides that they usually don't jump off sides, and we got to fix those mistakes if we want to win more games, and we will. Coach Barnes will do a good job getting it all corrected and get it fixed. I can't brag on Coach Barnes and how he rotated the quarterbacks. I said, I mean, when you play two quarterbacks, it's kind of tough, but I think they both complement each other, and I think Coach Barnes just knew when to put one in and when to put the other in. He didn't have like a script to say, I'm going to play him this and play two series, and he did a great job, and both of them were very successful at times. Now, both of them made mistakes. Dante's gonna make mistakes. He's a 15-year-old sophomore, but he's going to be special, and he's going to be talented. I mean, he's going to have success, but he's got to grow up a little bit, and he'll get there. He's been out with a high ankle sprain, and he's only been back with us for 2 weeks, so he'll keep getting better every week. And Malachi, he's just, he's played a lot of games. He moved over to us this year, and from Rockville, and he's played a lot of games for them. And last night I think he told me after the game was his first win as a starter, and so that's pretty good and pretty special for him, and I'm glad he got that.
Yeah, and having a senior work with a sophomore who's super talented as well has to help. Tellen had over 115 yards or so, completed a little over half of his passes last night and a couple of touchdowns. And Dante almost gives you like a Wildcat look, because he can run. He also has a really good arm throws. He overshot some receivers that could have been some touchdowns. But again, that's the youth, and he's going to get that fixed, and he's going to get better. Last night we got back, he was already sitting with Coach Barnes trying to correct those mistakes. But what's good about it is those two quarterbacks probably have one of the better relationships of anybody on the team, and the way they work together and communicate with each other. The long touchdown pass at the end of the game that Malachi threw, I had to jerk Dante off the field because he was celebrating with them. So, I mean, Yeah.
If he's celebrating over Malachi throwing that long that's just tells you what kind of kids they are and how they celebrate each other's success. And if they keep doing that and keep complimenting each other, that's only going to help us and help our success.
People who have seen the two quarterback system, if you want to call it that, it's like a lot of times it doesn't work. And I think a lot of times it doesn't work because of the cohesiveness with the two quarterbacks. You've got to have some relationship there, I think, and unselfishness for that to work. And that did not seem to be a problem for you last night.
Not at all. And I think our team has accepted it too, and there's no division between we want this kid or we want that kid. They're going to play, and I think they like both quarterbacks, and they understand that for us to be successful this year, we need both of them. And it also helps with DJ. So it's good, to not have to have all the pressure on Dominic this year. So, that's really good. And again, it's really helped us, and they're going to keep getting better and keep moving forward.
Will, quick word about your game, your first home game, Henry County coming in, and there's a story there. You've got brand new turf to unveil and all that kind of stuff, so it's a big Friday night for you coming up.
Yeah, we're not going to do our kickoff yet. We kind of wanted to get a few. I think admin decided, I think it was maybe the Coffee County game, that they're going to do it. They'll get it out. We'll get it all out when we want the big ceremony and stuff. But it will be our first game on the turf. And it's against my high school, my former high school, and I think they got 20-something coaches, and 18 of them my dad coached in high school. So I know all those guys, and they've already been calling me this morning and texting me and stuff. So I think for me personally, I think it's pretty neat, special that the first varsity football game that we get to play at Riverdale is against my high school, and I'm excited about it. And again, I'm excited that for the opponent and stuff, but it's going to be a tough game. I mean, they're really good. They're really big up front. It's going to be another big physical game, kind of like last night for us. And they playing a young quarterback. He's a sophomore. I know his family, and I mean that's what's neat about this game. The majority of the kids on there, I know their parents, know their families. So it's going to be a special night for me, and I think my dad will probably be out there with me, probably pregame warm-up, and just hanging out with all his former players and stuff. And that place is different, and football means a lot to them, and it's still the one show in town. So I'm expecting them to bring a big crowd. They travel real well, and I think for my family, it's going to be really special, but also, it's going to be neat for the kids. I talked to the kids last night about they're the first group to play on the turf, have a official game on the turf. So that's something they can always remember. And Dad can't wear any of that old Henry County stuff. No, he won't. All he wears now is Riverdale and Blackman.
I got you. Well, Coach, appreciate you coming in this morning. It's been fun catching up. Had a great time at the game last night, and good luck in next week's game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's great. That is Will Kriesky joining us, the head coach of the Riverdale Warriors. On the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rayburn Insurance Agency agent Rick Hall in Smyrna, an independent agency offering home, business, and auto and life insurance since 1973. Find out more at rayburn.net.
We're talking now with Heather Fitzma Osborne. What are